Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. And this, of course, is my favorite time of the month and my favorite installment, Ruffle Your Feathers, badass monthly guidance for Phoenix-led transformation. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, make sure to pause this video, click on the link below to find your Phoenix. Take my quiz. Find your Phoenix. There are 6 Phoenix personality types. And what this reading is going to do is it's going to tap into each of those personality types and give you a reading for the month. And it's unabashed. It is raw and real. So be prepared for that. And for those of you who are returning and you already know your Phoenixes, let's dive right on into this. I'm super pumped about the energies of this upcoming month. Feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube channel for more content like this. Copper Phoenixes. Of course, we are pulling cards from the Oracle of Visions by Cyril Marchetti. Beautiful. Copper Phoenixes. There's a level of grace that's coming in for you this month, but you have to be willing to step in and take it. It is not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. I'm feeling very much that this level of grace and support is something that you're going to need to ask for. And I feel like with you Copper Phoenixes, sometimes it's a challenge for you to ask for what you need because you're more used to being quite self-sufficient or being the person that is the helper or the healer. And the idea that you might have to ask for help or healing or assistance feels just really uncomfortable. And this month I feel like get over it, right? Get over yourself. Ask for the help, ask for the guidance, because you will be given grace and you will be given the resources that you need. Now, when we look at this, it's like she's embodying the energy of the swan. And swans like to congregate together. Swans like to pair up. So there's a level of collaboration that is happening here. And I want to say to you guys this month, the message is that you don't have to go it alone. You don't have to do it alone. Yes, you are an individual. Yes, you need to express yourself. There are things that you want to get done in this particular time frame that need to get done for you, but you don't have to do it alone and you don't have to do it by yourself. So embody the characteristics of the swans. And I'm going to say to you as well, swans, just like the ducks, make everything look easy. They make everything look smooth. But under the surface, under the water, there's some work and effort going on. So this month, I feel Copper Phoenixes, nothing that you're going to gain is going to come effortlessly. There are things that you're going to need to lean into. You're going to need to do and get done. So, put on your work hats, your work gloves, and get prepared to dive on in. But this doesn't mean that you're going to be overworked. It simply means anything worth having is worth doing the work for. Or anything, I think the phrase is anything worth having is worth fighting for. I don't feel like this is going to be a fight or a struggle, although it can feel that way if you're resisting the natural flow. Or if you're saying, poor pitiful me, I just wish the universe would, just hand this to me and I didn't have to do the work to receive it. Sure, we'd all love that. We'd all love to be able to not have to till the soil in order to plant the seeds and nurture the seeds in the garden and then go and pick the foods and all the rest of it. But that's just not how life works. We are here to experience all of it. We're here to experience that work and the effort and also the rewards that come with that hard work and effort. So this month, there's a lot of grace to be had, but you have to choose it. It's not going to choose you. It's going to present itself to you, but it's not necessarily going to choose you. So this is important for you to step up and choose yourself. I also feel like for you coppers this month, from a work perspective, when we're talking about like your career and like your job, how you choose to contribute. I'm feeling like there is also going to be some challenge around the process of how you're getting things done. And that challenge can be mitigated through proper communication. So if there's something that you're getting, it's the niggle in your mind that says, I should probably address this thing with my boss, or, in the meeting, somebody mentioned this as being the policy, or this as being the process, but I know right away that's not going to work well. You want to speak up. And I'm hearing very clearly it's your responsibility to speak up. No one else is going to speak up for you. It's like all of the other Phoenix personalities have tape over their mouths. Everyone just chooses to remain quiet. So it's up to you coppers to speak up when you're seeing something that's not going to work, or you're witnessing something that is, I'm going to say, not quite right, or that it needs to be addressed. You need to address it. And some of you guys are conflict avoidant around that. So I want to say it's about putting the big girl and big boy panties on, hoisting them up, and just speaking it out. I don't feel that there's going to be negative ramification for speaking it out, but I do feel that it's necessary that you do so. Woo! All right. So now we're on to our Iron Phoenixes for this month, and how interesting. Iron Phoenixes, you're getting a butt kick. Don't get too big for your britches. Don't forget your humanity. Don't forget humility. And I want to say that humble approach to life, that humble approach to everything, I feel is going to serve you well, specifically this month. Yeah, you guys are smart. You guys are creative. You guys are resourceful. And as a result of that, sometimes you can leave people in the dust. You can think that, you've got a better system or a better way of doing things. And sometimes you really do. And sometimes it's not the best approach to rub that in everybody's faces. So I feel like this month, the message for you guys is to remember humble beginnings, to remember that everybody is human, everybody contributes something, and focus, instead of focusing on how others are letting you down, or how others are slowing you down, keeping you distant, or keeping you behind the 8 ball. Focus instead on where their strengths are. Call them out for their strengths. Lean into their strengths. Give them something to focus on that is going to lift them up rather than tear them down. And I don't want to imply that all of you guys tear people down. I don't feel that's the case. But like even myself, I'm not an Iron Phoenix, but I get very driven. My mother calls me a dog with a bone. I get driven about things. And if I've got a bee in my bonnet about something and I want to get shit done, and I need someone else's help to do it, sometimes I just can bulldoze, and I either decide that I don't want to work with them and I'll just do it myself because I can just get it done faster, or I have to really rein it in with myself and say, you've asked this person for help. It's important that you allow them to help you in the way that they can. You don't have to dictate or micromanage how it gets done, and just breathe. It's all going to get done in its own way and pace. So I feel irons for you guys. It's that remembrance of, I might be able to do it better, but that's not what the point of the exercise is. It's not to make someone feel less than or like they're not good enough. It's to experience the sort of the collaboration or the collaborative effort, or to give someone the opportunity to feel better about themselves, to feel as though they are contributing. You Iron Phoenixes, you're quite resourceful. I don't want to say you rarely need people's help. That's not true. We all need everybody's help at some point in our lives. But I would say it's more often than not that you can figure it out on your own. There's always another plan or another option. You find a way. This is a month to recognize that collaborative effort is the goal, and lifting someone else up is the goal. So you might be thinking the purpose is to get this done, to get this completed. That's not the purpose. It's just not. The purpose is actually this experience that I'm having, and having to ask for someone's help, or having the opportunity to ask for someone's help, is because it's about them and how I can help them, how I can lift them up while they're helping me. So keep that in mind. I feel like that's a big, big message out there, that things aren't always what they seem. I feel like that's a good way of putting that. All right, we've got our gold phoenixes. What have we got coming up for you guys? Ooh, you got the Venus flytraps. Whenever we get the Venus flytraps, I feel like it's very important for you to have your eyes wide open. It's interesting. Each of the cards so far has had a tie-in to the other. We had collaboration with the coppers. The collaboration kind of fell into the iron phoenixes, and now I was talking about iron phoenixes and things aren't always what they seem. That is a big part of this card, is be careful of the traps that people lay out for you, is what I'm hearing this month. And I do feel that there's a certain level of intentionality that is happening. Not to be, pessimistic and but I will say to you, I feel like people have their own agendas this month. And for you gold phoenixes, that can be a challenge. You lead with your heart, you wear your emotions on your sleeve, you're all about wanting to help. Make sure that you have your eyes wide open and that you're not being duped, that you're not being taken advantage of by someone. And how can you, avoid that or do your best to figure that out? Ask the right questions. The Venus flytrap looks like this really beautiful flower, and the fly gets excited about the scent of the flower, the look of the flower, and it goes in to do some exploration or to do some healing work or some pollination, and all of a sudden it becomes dinner. You do not want to become dinner this month. And it's easy for you to avoid that by asking questions. So don't jump in. Don't say yes to something right away. Your natural inclination is to be of service and to say, yes, I'm going to figure it out and I'll find a way. Not saying you can't do that, but you want to maybe make the rule that you don't say yes to anything until you've had 24 hours to think about it. That's a rule that I make for myself from time to time, because I can very easily get caught up in the excitement of it, or I'm wanting to be helpful, or I'm having a people-pleasing moment, and I don't give enough thought to what it actually means for me, or what it actually is going to bring up or to address. And so in those moments, I have learned, because I rush into everything, I'm impulsive in those ways. I've learned that sometimes, even when I know the answer is still going to be yes, I give myself 24 hours, or I give myself 3 days before I give them an answer, or I give myself an hour to sit in it. Because initially, yeah, it feels great. But then when you have time to think about it, you're like, oh, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? Your answer still might be the same. Your answer might not change, but at least you've given yourself the time to let it percolate, let something interesting come up and come through. So I feel like that's an important message for you guys. Okay, so now we've got our silver phoenixes. And you silver phoenixes are always Johnny on the spot. You always know, okay, I got my shit together. I got all my ducks in a row. Let's just get to it. Oh, beautiful. You've got the Pista. This is one of my absolute favorite cards in this deck. And I love this card. And I love how the light is highlighting just this natural light that's coming through. I moved recently, and I'm still trying to find the right spaces and places for recording. So bear with me and bear with the light. I'm probably going to get some light on my face in a minute. But I love how the light is highlighting the dove and her face. So Silver Phoenixes, I feel like this is a message for you to go in soft. You can be very direct, and there's nothing wrong with your directness. In fact, we need more of that. But there is a time and place. And I keep hearing, read the room. Read the room, read the person, read the situation. This, even though sugarcoating things drives you nuts, you'd rather just get right to the heart of it and move on because you're about efficiency and, let's just get her done. Let's not waste time. This is going to be a month where I want to say you want to go in soft. You want to take that little bit of extra time. You want to handhold, especially for those of you at work who are in a position where you're guiding others. This is going to be a month where hand-holding and gentle speak. I always say, I want to pass on my information with a loving heart and a gentle tongue. Gentle speak is important. I love the beautiful dove in this card because the dove, it's a peace dove. So it symbolizes peace. It also symbolizes freedom. And what I keep hearing for you guys this month is there is freedom in that softness this month, because sometimes when you are really direct, you're very clear, you're very blunt, it can create problems on the other side. And I know you guys know what this is about. You get people who are extra sensitive. You say something and all of a sudden somebody's in tears and you're like, that's not what I meant at all. I just was trying to, expedite the process. Sometimes you can be in that space of bulldoze. And I'm not judging you for it because I bulldoze too. This is not a month to bulldoze. This is a month to measure twice and cut once, right? And I feel very much that the goal for you is really freedom. That's what Spirit is giving you right now, is they're saying this is a month that can really highlight freedom for you, but it's about you recognizing how your words, how your actions are affecting others around you. And the freedom is going to come in that inclusive approach. And when I say inclusive, I don't necessarily mean it in the way that we refer to it these days. Well, I'm not talking about inclusivity in terms of making sure that everyone, is feeling welcomed and they matter and all the rest of it. All of that is important, but that's not what this inclusivity is about. It's more for you about understanding that everyone is playing their part in your life and in your world. And if you have to take an extra minute to consider your words and to consider who you are speaking that truth to, take that time, because it'll be time well spent. Powerful messaging. Okay. Platinum Phoenixes. Let's see what we got for you guys this month. I feel this month there's a lot coming up for you around, oh, that's interesting. The word is credit. Giving credit where credit is due. Paying attention to your credit score, credit cards, debt, financial considerations. And I'm feeling like for some of you, the universe is giving you a credit. Like you paid in advance for something and you didn't get exactly what it was that you paid for. So you're getting a credit. That's an interesting message, but that's what I'm getting. So let's look at your card here. Yes, so we've got the yin and the yang on this juggler's chest, and the yin and the yang is balance, harmony. Each, the yin and the yang, each are their own individual entities, and they can handle life on their own in those own individual entities. But they work so much better when they're working in concert with one another. One cannot reach its fullest potential without the other. And it's very similar to the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which is exactly the yin and yang. So I'm feeling like for you guys this month, the message really is not so much about balance as much as it's about ratio. Credit. Giving credit where credit is due, receiving credit, taking credit, giving credit. It's that healthy give and take. And that's what's coming up here in this card. When we look at this, this juggler or this acrobat, or he is standing very, very tall. He is completely aligned. And if you notice, he's aligned not in like a traditional way. He's aligned to his own true north. You know, he's got the one arm that has one aspect, the yang or the yin. The other aspect is the yang coming up rather than going down. His body is not completely aligned on the outside. When we're looking at it, it's not completely straight. And yet he has balanced and shifted the weight distribution, right? He's distributed the weight in such a way that he's able to stand completely on his toes. So I feel like for you guys, you platinums, you're going to need to this month really take a look at what is balance for you. Not the proverbial balance, not the collective balance, not what your mother or brother or neighbor tells you is the right formula for balance, but it's about you understanding how much of the divine masculine do I need to lean into this month? How much of the divine feminine do I need to lean into? What adjustments do I need to make in order to feel aligned with my path? And again, keeping in mind, alignment might not be straight. Alignment might not be exactly what you're thinking it's supposed to be. And yet, it's going to be what you need it to be. Also, we have the Omega sign in the card here. And Omega is, I like to say, like the beginning and the ending, right? Like we have the Alpha, the beginning, and the Omega, the ending. And so I feel also this month that this is an invitation to explore rebirth, new beginnings. You're coming to the end of something. What are you closing out so that you can open up to the fresh and the new? And that feels really significant. You've got to be open to it. If you're not open to it, it's going to pass you by. It's not going to wait for you. It's the trains in Europe that, you know, they're on a schedule and they maintain that schedule, especially the trains in Germany. Oh my God, like so efficient, right? Like to the second, you can count on that train showing up. So definitely feeling that energy for you guys. All right, we've got our liquid diamond phoenixes. And what do we have for you guys this month? Ooh, okay. Liquid diamonds. I'm feeling very much the energy here of you guys needing to be very aware of duplicity. You do not want to be duplicitous. You want to be as honest, like honest to a fault. This is a month where you're going to get caught in lies. If you're given lies, even those little white lies, and I'm guilty of that too. Little white lies, the truth is coming out. And you don't want to be duplicitous. You don't want to be caught in something that you can't backtrack out of. Integrity is important. And to you liquid diamond phoenixes, integrity is everything. So you're probably listening to this and going, well, you know, I don't need to worry about that because, you know, I believe in this and that, and this is how I live my life. Well, surprise, surprise, we're all humans. We're all having this experience. And there are going to be situations that are going to come up where it's going to be easier to tell a little white lie. Think twice about it, because that little white lie is going to come up and bite you in the ass, especially around people that you care about. So pay attention to that. Also, I'm hearing little white lies, like I'm seeing someone's on the phone having a conversation. It's like being on the phone with your bank. Don't over exaggerate or embellish the situation. Give the facts. Here's what happened. Here's when it happened. I don't know why it's happening. I need it to stop, or I need you to fix this. If you embellish it to try and, you know, get something more or whatever, it's going to backfire. So don't be duplicitous. Be authentic, be honest to a fault. This month, I feel like this message is coming up and coming through because you're going to run into situations where other people are going to, it's almost like everybody's got a bee in their bonnet about something. And if you happen to connect with someone who, the bee in your bonnet and the bee in their bonnet collide, you're not going to get your needs met because they're going to get stubborn and they're going to say, oh, you want to lie to me, or you want to give me a this or a that or whatever. Like, they don't owe you anything. And quite frankly, people aren't going to care. People aren't really going to give a shit. And that's a problem for you if there's something that you need from someone else, whether it's a customer service situation on the phone or from a friend, where you're like, yeah, I promised that I was going to go out with you, and the little white lie would be, oh, I'm not feeling well. No, you're feeling fine. You're just really recognizing what I really need right now is to sit and watch Netflix and not have to talk to anybody. So be honest about that. Even if that person's feelings might be hurt, you let them know it has nothing to do with you. I need to reschedule. Let's reschedule at this time instead. Are you free at this time instead? And I promise, I'm a person of my word. I promise I will show up come hell or high water. So be honest. That's the message I keep getting. Be honest. In this particular card, there are a number of different pictures floating around and little, puzzle pieces and things with pictures on it. And I feel like that's really what's going on is it's the many faces that you have, the many faces that you're wearing. Those many faces are going to get you in trouble right now. So be the authentic face. Choose the face that is you and stick with that. That's going to serve you well this month. All right, guys, that is our Ruffle Your Feathers for this month. And wow, I'm curious about how this month is going to go down. So again, for those of you who have watched this and you're like, how do I know if I am a copper phoenix, or how do I know if I'm a liquid diamond phoenix? Click on the link below, take my completely free quiz. It'll take you, I think it's less than a minute. And it'll spit out your results, and you'll learn a bit about how you transform, the ways that you transform, and how you deal with transformation, and how you deal with people while you're in those transformations. And that is super beneficial information to have. And if you like what you see here, feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube. I release content all the time. I hope you guys have the most amazing week. If you're struggling at all with any of these concepts that are coming up, you know where I'm at. Please feel free to book a session with me. We'll get you some clarity, some guidance. You can book an essential 30-minute reading or a profound 60-minute reading. And if you want to do a real deep dive, take a look at my Phoenix journeys, especially the Phoenix 360. Helps you to get right to the heart of the matter of a particular issue, and we dissect it 6 ways from Sunday. You leave that session feeling very clear on what is transpiring. So I'd love to be of service in those ways. Take care, guys. Have the most amazing week, and we'll see you on the flip side. Ciao.